It's kind of hard for Meghan to say that the UK is a racist country when the leader of the UK is darker skinned than her and the mayor of London is darker skinned than her. And I am a person who's probably darker skinned than her, and I've never experienced any kind of bigotry against myself besides the fact I'm a straight male. I'll get bigotry for that before I'll get bigotry for my skin color. She has attacked an age-old institution, and there are people who are very patriotic about that institution. And by attacking it and bringing a degree of distaste to it, there's gonna be people who don't like her.
So Andrew Tate, great to have you here. People are so terrified when talking about Harry and Meghan because they're worried that they're going to be accused of racism. You're clearly not worried about that.
Andrew Tate didn't tiptoe into the Meghan and Harry debate. He cannonballed in, flamethrower blazing. On a live stream watched by millions, Tate called Meghan the queen of modern narcissism, branded Harry her domesticated +1, and torched every taboo, race, masculinity, royalty, in one blistering monologue. Love him or loathe him, his words ripped the lid off a conversation polite society tiptoes around. Did Meghan destroy a prince? Or did Harry surrender the sword himself? Most broadcasters tiptoe round the Sussexes, petrified of the R word. Tate didn't tiptoe, he kicked the door off its hinges. On a live stream watched by 8 million in 48 hours, he opened with 9 words. She destroyed him. He was a prince. Now he's pathetic. No qualifiers, no royal reverence. The internet detonated. Clips flooded TikTok. Hashtag Harry Punchline started trending in 22 countries. By dawn, even neutral morning shows were replaying Tate's soundbite because the clicks were too good to ignore. Why did it stick? Because Tate voiced the whispers. Office group chats, pub corners, gym locker rooms, places where people roll their eyes at every new Sussex confession but won't tweet it for fear of backlash. Tate gave that frustration a microphone. Within hours, commentators who'd spent 3 years mouthing, "It's complicated," pivoted to, "Maybe the guy has a point." Even Piers Morgan, no stranger to Sussex skirmishes, retweeted the clip with a single flame emoji. Tate's opening barrage set the rules. No more dancing round palace decorum, no more fear of hashtag mobs. If you're going to debate the Sussex saga, debate it unmasked. And that unmasking began with the topic everyone else treats like dynamite: race. For half a decade, criticism of Meghan travels a booby-trapped path. One misstep and you're branded racist. Tate bulldozed the minefield. "She's lighter than me," he shrugged, "and I've never cried racism once."
He does not garner any kind of racism in day-to-day life. She's less dark-skinned than me, and I certainly haven't suffered from any racism. So I don't think race has anything to do with it. I think she's just a dislikable person and is trying to find another excuse for that.
In 30 seconds, he reframed Meghan's victim narrative from social injustice to PR strategy, identity as bulletproof vest. He argued the tactic works because guilt works. Major outlets shy from hard questions, fearing a backlash headline. Brands plaster her in empowerment campaigns to preempt controversy. Even royals tread softly lest palace stonework be painted bigot gray. Tate's blunt premise, weaponizing identity lets you dodge accountability. He pointed to Oprah's interview. No concrete proof, just the bombshell concerns over skin tone left hanging like a guillotine over anyone who doubts her.
My issue with what they've both been doing is if you're going to make allegations against an institution like the royal family and the monarchy, you've got to actually provide some evidence. You can't just spray gun this thing out there and say, well, somebody was racist.
Online reactions split like tempered glass. Supporters blasted Tate as misogynist shock jock. Detractors of the Sussexes hailed him as truth teller finally unplugged. The bigger shift came in the middle ground. Thousands who'd kept silent. Teachers, coders, mid-level managers commented for the first time, writing, "Critique isn't hate. I'm tired of being told it is." Social listening firms logged a 400% spike in posts challenging the racism premise. An algorithm quake Meghan's PR team couldn't bury with pastel quote cards. By sunset, the narrative chessboard had changed. If race can no longer deflect every criticism, what's left to shield the Duchess? Tate was already lining up his next piece, Victimhood Itself, how tears became currency and how a Hollywood actress used them to buy a prince and a platform. Tate's next salvo. Meghan doesn't sell lip gloss, she sells pain. He outlined a 4-step playbook that, in his view, turned a mid-tier actress into a global force. Spark a clash. Tiara Gate, servant tears, balcony slights, cry oppression, Float a racism bombshell without receipts. Monetize sympathy. Inc. Spotify and Netflix deals framed as healing. Rebrand on repeat. When a narrative stalls, unveil a new persona. Domestic. Goddess jam jars. Anyone? Tate called it traumapreneurship. Each scandal feeds the next streaming trailer. Every tier becomes SEO gold. He spotlighted the Oprah special. Sweeping strings, soft focus, therapeutic buzzwords, then zero follow-up evidence. The real magic, Tate said, wasn't confession, it was conversion, turning pity into a billion-dollar content machine.
As a justification for the fact that she isn't liked by the majority of people is a cop-out. It's not the case.
The public mood barometer moved again. Commenters posted side-by-side clips. Meghan's quivering voice at Oprah versus her red carpet grin days later. Captions read, "From survivor to celebrity in 72 hours." Even sympathetic outlets hesitated, asking for clarifications they never dared request before. Tate's victimhood critique hit hardest, not because it was new, but because it stripped away the last untouchable layer of Meghan's armor. If pain is profit, can we still trust the tears? Having dismantled Meghan's shield, Tate turned to the prince himself, arguing that Harry's tragedy wasn't capture, it was consent. Tate's most savage cut, Harry traded Apache rotors for aromatherapy. Once the army captain who braved Afghan dust storms, he's now the face of guided meditation apps, reading trauma notes under California sunshine. Tate insists nobody kidnapped the prince. Harry volunteered. He traced the slide. 2012, combat gear, desert grit, royal rogue charisma. 2017, engagement glow, but still polo field swagger. 2021 to 23, Oprah tears, spare confessions, Spotify whisper, casts, iced latte selfie culture. In Tate's calculus, each therapy-laden soundbite cost Harry a slice of the stoic masculinity that endeared him to soldiers and citizens alike. Strength became toxic. Stoicism outdated, so he shed them. Tate charged. Veteran forums nodded. TikTok stitched images of Battlefield Harry against Montecito Harry with the caption, "From hero to hashtag."
Narratives, doesn't it? Which is that you're very worried that men today seem to be embracing the idea of being victims.
The baseline of masculinity is that bad things are going to happen to you, and you're going to absorb them, and you're going to use them and to grow into a more competent individual. If you look at what society expects of men and what even females expect of men, they expect a man of competence, and for you to be competent, you have to have lived through some things.
More damning, Tate argues, is complicity. Harry wasn't duped. He co-signed the script, swapped regimental honor for algorithmic applause. He left a lineage of duty for a lifestyle of dopamine hits. And that, Tate declared, is the blueprint for modern male decline. With masculinity framed as the real casualty, Tate shifted to the system that lets this saga thrive. Mainstream media gatekeepers terrified to challenge the Duchess. Tate's rant blamed Harry's slide-on more than Meghan. It blamed an ecosystem too scared to question her. Legacy outlets are hostages, he sneered.
People are so terrified when talking about Harry and Meghan because they're worried that they're going to be accused of racism. You're clearly not worried about that.
Evidence? Editorial edits. A UK broadsheet killed a column comparing Meghan's spending to past duchesses. The editor admitted on a leaked Slack, "Too risky, Twitter will eat us." Television panels, producers send guests pre-show memos, avoid implying Meghan lied, pivot to systemic bias. Big tech filters. YouTube demonetizes creators who dissect the Oprah contradictions. Meanwhile, the company's own blog hails the Sussex doc as a healing moment. Tate packaged it as manufactured immunity. Racism becomes a rhetorical tripwire. Cross it and lose your platform. That fear, he argues, lets Meghan run narrative laps unopposed. Viewers flocked to comment sections. If we can't criticize a public figure, is she a duchess or a deity? By nightfall, #MediaGag trended. A BBC radio host broke rank, saying on air, "We do sidestep facts for optics." It lasted 6 hours before the clip vanished from the website, proving Tate's point in real time. But while journalists flinch, the royals have simply frozen out the prodigal prince, leaving Harry stranded between two worlds that no longer want him. Inside Buckingham, the fallout shows in small, brutal ways. William schedules appearances without even checking Harry's calendar. Unthinkable 5 years ago. Courtiers whisper the new mantra, "No joint optics." Charles' aides refer to Montecito as the other address, never home. The message, lineage over loyalty. Across the Atlantic, Tinseltown's patience thins. Executives dub the couple streaming's one-season wonder. Key signs, Netflix quietly halts a Sussex doc pitch on ecotourism. Audience fatigue. Spotify exec at Cannes jokes that archetypes was more archaeon. Event bookers replace Harry with Chris Hemsworth for a leadership summit. Crowd, pleaser, zero baggage. Tate frames the stalemate. They left the crown for content, but content moves on. With palace doors bolted and Hollywood lights dimming, Harry stands in a no-man's land of his own making. Too royal for radical LA. Too radical for royal duty. And that emptiness, Tate warns, is what modern culture does best. Churn icons into hashtags, then scroll past the wreckage. Harry's identity vacuum and the mushrooming men's movement using his downfall as Exhibit A in the masculinity debate. Step into any modern men's forum, YouTube red pill channels, Discord gym servers, stoic quote subreddits, and you'll see one meme on loop. Don't go full Harry. His saga has become shorthand for what these groups call quiet emasculation, surrendering mission, tribe, and purpose to chase external validation. Podcasts like The Iron Mind break it down. Phase 1, identity swap, royal officer, reality narrator. Phase 2, dependency loop, trade respect for applause, then chase ever louder applause. Phase 3, resentment crash, realize applause moved on, and purpose went with it. Coaches cite Harry alongside cautionary tales, such as former athletes who lost drive post-spotlight. Their mantra, keep your flag planted, career, family, code, so no outside force can uproot you. Tate's rant turbocharged that lesson. Membership spikes followed the viral clip as young men searched, "How not to become Harry." Even mainstream columnists admit the shift. Google Trends shows male stoicism searches up 180% since the Sussex Netflix drop, while emotional vulnerability for men is flatlining. Tate didn't start the pendulum swing, but he gave it a face.
And for you to be competent, you have to have lived through some things. To be good at being a man, you have to have had a hard life. If you look at any superhero, his life was hard. This is the reality of it.
A ginger prince adrift in Montecito. With masculinity now the battleground, Tate positions himself as the anti-Harry, an icon who absorbs cancellation fire yet refuses to bend. Picture a split-screen TikTok. On the left, Harry in soft designer knitwear, speaking gently to a therapist about generational trauma. On the right, Tate, shirtless in a concrete gym, barking, "Pain builds kings." It's more than aesthetics, it's a clash of philosophies.
And you're a full-grown man, you're a full-grown adult. When's the last time there's been a serious problem in your life that you completely ignored and it fixed itself? Never, ever.
And you say that one of the reasons that you are a resilient human being is because you have lived through trauma, but that trauma actually propelled you to success rather than bringing you down to victimhood.
Harry's blueprint monetizes sympathy, his public confessions, Oprah Spare, therapy podcasts, turn vulnerability into brand deals. When crisis hits, he leans into feelings, releases another doc or audio diary, and waits for corporate sponsors to applaud. Tate's blueprint monetizes controversy. Every ban, boycott, or hit piece funnels his followers to private channels where he charges a premium. When crisis hits, he doubles down, "Cancel me, I'll get bigger off-platform." His audience loves the defiance. Algorithms can't resist the spike. Corporations feel safer with Harry's inoffensive warmth. Until viewers tune out, algorithms secretly prefer Tate's volatility until moderators swing the hammer. The result? When both lose formal platforms, only one keeps growing. Tate's paywall empire thrives on exile. Harry's value dips each time Netflix fatigue trends. Culturally, the confrontation forces a blunt choice. Should modern men chase comfort or confront chaos? Engagement stats offer a clue. Tate's clips regularly triple Harry's in organic reach. Brands, schools, even military recruiters are noticing and adjusting their messaging to whichever model looks ascendant. Right now, the momentum tilts toward the man who refuses to apologize. That attention gap feeds directly into how media fatigue and stalled deals are shifting Harry from royal rebel to overexposed influencer. The Sussex content boom is sputtering. Netflix quietly canned 2 pitch decks after internal polls showed viewer fatigue. Spotify's execs labeled archetypes low ROI and walked. A-list event planners now slot Harry below B-tier Marvel actors. He still draws clicks, just not the right kind. Even Meghan's lifestyle launches reveal the stall. American Riviera Orchards jam jars shipped to influencers, yet Google searches cratered after day 2. Twitter memes about $65 trauma preserves outperformed her own promo clips. Hollywood's verdict is brutal. Novelty gone, risk high. UK tabloids sense blood, but the real damage comes from indifference. A recent YouGov Snap poll asked Britons to name a public figure you're tired of hearing about. Harry and Meghan placed first and second, ahead of politicians. When curiosity morphs into eye rolls, the brand's oxygen supply runs out. Tate underlined it. Sympathy is a battery. Drain it and the lights go off. With mainstream coverage cooling and corporate money hedging, Harry finds himself in a PR, no man's land, too controversial for Buckingham, too played out for Hollywood, and now overshadowed online by the very provocateur who called him domesticated. 2 paths remain. Option A, quiet reset. Step back, ditch confessionals, rebuild credibility through low-key service. Think Invictus on steroids, 0 Netflix cameras. It's slow, but royals respect silence, and the public might rediscover the soldier beneath the soap opera. Option B, double down on disclosure. More memoirs, more docudrama, maybe a tell, all series about palace microaggressions. Short-term cash, long-term burnout. Tate and his ilk will feast. The monarchy will freeze what titles remain. Hollywood will scroll to the next scandal. Insiders say Harry's circle is split. Old military friends push for option A. Hollywood advisors whisper option B while the algorithms still pay. Meghan? Sources claim she's data-driven, and the data still rewards outrage clicks, at least for now. But digital cycles accelerate. Today's headline hero becomes tomorrow's swipe-past name in under a year. If Harry waits too long, the window for dignified reinvention slams shut, and he risks permanent residence in Tate's Punchline Hall of Fame. Andrew Tate's flamethrower commentary did more than roast Meghan and Harry. It exposed the hinges of their public armor. Strip away the race shield and the victim halo, and we're left with a prince at a crossroads. Reclaim mission or keep monetizing misery. So, what's your call? Is Harry a cautionary tale of surrendered purpose, or can he still pivot from meme to man of stature? Drop your take below, because in this saga, audience verdicts write the next chapter. And that's a wrap! If today's scoop had you raising an eyebrow or two, tap that like button to let us know. Got a hot take or inside tea? Drop it in the comments so the whole crew can weigh in. Not part of the fam yet? Hit that subscribe button and ring the bell, because the next twist is always one upload away.